wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the first video of 2026. It's a big year. I know it's a big year. I'm really hoping 2026 doesn't go anything like 2025. That was a very, very bad year, if I'm being honest. I'm very excited to try a lot of new things this year and really commit to doing content and really commit to focusing on myself. Last year I was not focused on myself at all, and it really set me behind in all the stuff that I did want to accomplish. So now my goal is to accomplish all of those things that I wanted to accomplish last year, this year. But I'm gonna try and hurry up and accomplish them as soon as possible, because I have other things that I want to accomplish that have been added to the list, and I need to get those accomplished this year. Like, it is a need. Other than that, I hope you guys had a great holiday, a great winter break, and I also hope you guys had a great new year. I'm really excited to do this video. Today's video is going to be a reaction video. I don't know really what I'm reacting to because my mom picked it for me. I asked her if she could pick something for me because I can't watch it. I want it to be a raw reaction.
Let go of me, bro. I'm a boss, bro. Bro, please. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Look.
Also, I did my nails. You're probably like, what in the hell is on your hands? Leave that to me, okay? They look odd right here, but like, I promise you, like, in person, they look a lot better.
You could use that against him.
Alright, so this video is going to be 3 very scary true New Year's Eve story time stories animated. Oh, I don't know what just happened. My AirPod is at 15%. Somebody's actually gonna have to get slapped. Let's hurry up and get into the video. This video is by HorrorShortsParty. If you guys watch Corey Kenshin, you would be familiar with this. But if not, you're gonna be familiar with it now because of me. So let's get into it.
This happened in the early 2000s when I was a little girl. Leading up to New Year's Eve, my parents had just bought a brand new computer and kept it in the living room where I was only allowed to use it under their supervision. Of course, that didn't stop me. Whenever I wanted to play games or surf the internet without my parents breathing down my neck, I would sneak out of my bedroom after they fell asleep at night.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. For one, something bad is going to happen, and this is exactly the parents' fault, and this also is the child's fault. For one, if you can't play it without your parents, or you can't be on the computer without your parents being there, what makes you think it's a good idea to disobey them and then go be on the computer? Obviously, there's a reason behind that, for one. And for two, if they were smart enough, they would have put a lock on the computer. They would have put a different password on it. That's the least of our worries. Let's just get into it.
I could do whatever I wanted, but the one thing I did most was chat with this girl named Christine who I became friends with online. Over time, we became very close, talking almost every night until we called each other best friends. I opened up about how strict my parents were, while she talked about her parents didn't seem to pay any attention to her at all. We discussed a meeting in person many times, but we discovered that we lived nearly 50 miles apart, which was an impossible distance for either of us to cover at that age. Then, one day, close to New Year's Eve, Christine broke some incredible news. She said her older brother had just gotten his license and could drive. This was a big deal because I could finally meet Christine face to face and hang out with her versus chatting online. We eventually hatched a plan. I had always complained that my parents never let me stay up until midnight on New Year's Eve, so Christine said her brother would pick me up at my house right after my parents went to sleep. He would.
Are you serious? Like, are you actually serious? I feel like even as a child, like a very young child, I would have known that it's not okay. Like, for one, I wasn't talking to other people. Like, I had friends in real life. Also, yeah, where are her friends in real life? Maybe I missed something. I don't know, but yeah, I wouldn't. She's actually crazy. I don't know what this girl's doing.
Then drive me over to Christine's, where we would watch the fireworks show in her neighborhood. Then he would drive me back to my house before my parents woke up in the morning. I was excited as hell and felt like a rebel for once. I was tired of obeying such strict rules all the time and being told what I could and couldn't do. It felt good trying something new for once. On the night of New Year's Eve, I waited up in bed until 10 p.m. My parents always fell asleep before then. Soon after, I looked out my window and saw the car parked on the street just past my driveway. That was him, Christine's brother, there to pick me up. I snuck out of the house, then went up to the car and tapped on the window. It opened just a crack, and in the darkness, I could barely see his face. He said he was there to pick me up, just like we had planned, so I got in the back seat. Once inside, I started to feel a bit nervous. I still couldn't quite see what he looked like, so I tried to make conversation.
Is she not gonna ask where the other girl, I think her name is Christine, is she not gonna ask where the other girl is at? And look at the car. What is going on here? It looks like somebody has already tried to break out of it. See, this is actually terrible. Terrible.
Hoping it would planned, so I got in the back seat. Once inside, I started to feel a bit nervous. I still couldn't quite see what he looked like, so I tried to make conversation, hoping it would make things less uncomfortable.
So, where's Christine?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Is she waiting at the house for me?
I made her up.
What?
Christine is a lie. I made her up.
What? No. Why?
To get to you!
And they want to give me an ad? Oh, everybody's getting slimed. Okay, but since we have an ad, I should have never cut to the chase because she asked. But that's actually scary. And he looked ugly. He's ugly. Like, I think that's the reason why he made, Christine up. Because he's chopped. I would make up somebody too. I mean, I actually wouldn't. But if I was chopped, actually, I don't know.
Let me out! Let me out!
By the time I realized I had walked into a trap, I was already racing away from home at 60 miles per hour. There was no way out, no way for me to get the better of him. I couldn't break through the window or find any sort of weapon. I couldn't even try to choke him without pulling my arms away from his neck like they were made of ribbons. To make matters worse, it was the middle of the night, and all anyone was focused on were parties and fireworks. When he pulled into the driveway of his house, there wasn't a single person on the street I could call for help. As the garage door closed behind us, I felt like I was being buried alive. The next thing I knew, he was dragging me out of the car as I kicked and screamed, fighting for my life. He took me into his basement where he tied me up and shackled me to the wall of his dungeon. I was too innocent to know what was about to happen to me, but I was sure it was going to be worse than anything I could possibly imagine. 7, 6, 5, 3, 1. Happy New Year! Oh, my dear sweet wife, don't cry. It's time for the real fireworks. I never left that dungeon, not as the same person I was when I was forced into it anyway. For days, that monster held me captive and kept me in misery, torturing me, destroying me, and taking videos of it all for the internet. It took nearly a week for the authorities to catch up and rescue me, but by then, there was little left of me to free. Allegedly, the police had gotten an anonymous tip from one of his online viewers, which led them to my rescue. My entire life since then has been a slow, agonizing crawl back to a semblance of normalcy. Every New Year's Eve, it feels like I'm right back where I started. On New Year's Day of 2002, a young female named Alicia Kozakevich disappeared from her suburban Pennsylvania home following a family dinner. Suspicions that Alicia may have been lured by someone she had met while chatting on the internet proved to be true. For 4 days, Alicia had been tortured while she was held captive in the basement by a 38-year-old computer programmer who she met in an online chat room months earlier. The horrific images of Alicia's torment and captivity were posted on the internet by her abductor. Authorities were able to track Alicia from an anonymous tip from one of her abductor's online acquaintances to a townhouse in Virginia where they found her chained to the floor with a locked collar around her neck in what Alicia describes as a dungeon. Allegedly, Alicia originally developed a close online relationship with Christine, whom she believed was a 14-year-old girl with long red hair. Alicia later learned that Christine was a 42-year-old man, but in the online world where identity is often ambiguous, Alicia remained friends with Christine. Eventually, Christine introduced Alicia to the man who would later become her abductor. Alicia's abductor is presently serving out a 20-year prison sentence.
$20? 20 years? That's not, that's, I mean, I guess. I don't think that's enough, but that's besides the point. That's really tragic for that girl. I feel really bad for her family. But that's exactly why, for one, you don't do things like that. And I feel like now it's worse, especially because, I mean, with AI, it's really not that bad. Well, it is bad, but at the same time, it's like, actually, I don't know. Just don't talk to strangers unless you know them, or unless there's proof that they're existent. But even then, you still have to really be careful with things like that. Okay, for the first story, 10 out of 10. I think that was really interesting. That was actually crazy. Like, actually, that was actually crazy. This next one is the brother that ruined New Year's Eve. Hopefully this one is as good as the last one.
I lived with my mother, brother, and 3 sisters. Unfortunately, our father has been gone for many years. My brother, being the oldest child and only son, believes this makes him the man of the household. But he's anything but that. He's just a piece of shit. He just bullies all of us, including my mom. When my dad was around, we could at least rely on him to keep us safe. But ever since he left, my brother took control of everything. He easily overpowers us by force whenever he wants. Our only advantage is that we outnumber him, but that doesn't mean he isn't able to single us out when he gets the chance. Recently, however, my mom wanted us to do something as a family for New Year's Eve, so she booked us a hotel room. I don't know where she got the idea from, but I suspect my brother had something to do with it. Or maybe she thought it would help us form a better relationship with him. But as cramped as our house was, the hotel room we found ourselves in that night brought us into a world of absolute hell. The problem started almost right away when we tried to discuss.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop. Her head is actually frying me. Why does she look like that? I want to turn that into a sticker. I'm turning that into a sticker. Alright, back to the story.
The sleeping arrangements. My brother wanted the big bed in a larger private room meant for parents all to himself, leaving the 4 of us girls and our mother to fight for space on the 2 tiny beds in the main room. When we said that wasn't fair, he grabbed our youngest sister and said she would share the bed with him to make space for the rest of us. This caused everything to explode into madness. We knew he was going to do something horrible to her, and he was clearly willing to trade her for me or either of my other.
What? 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 What do you mean you know? What? I'm just wondering if you know this, why are we not calling the police? He's hitting you guys. He's singling you guys out, you guys out, like, and hurting you guys. This story's gonna actually make me a little upset.
Nobody asked.
Sisters, our mom, desperate to defuse things, offered to take her place. But he said he would rather die than sleep next to someone as old, fat, and ugly as her. For hours, we fought and fought until it was almost midnight. Suddenly, our mom told us all to stop so we could at least appreciate the whole point of why we came to the hotel in the first place. To watch the countdown to New Year's and the fireworks that followed. We all knew the argument would resume as soon as the show was finished, but everyone seemed tired enough to take a break, even if it was only for a few minutes. So, we all gathered on the small balcony just outside our room. It was freezing, but nobody wanted to huddle together for fear of our brother touching us. For 10 unbearably awkward seconds, we counted down as one family. Then the fireworks started, enough to keep us distracted for just a moment. Sadly, My brother tried to use the fireworks as a diversion. While he thought nobody was looking, he put his hand over my little sister's mouth and tried to pull her back inside the hotel. He managed to close the door on us, almost locking us out. But my older sister noticed at the last second and grabbed the door to keep it from locking. Then my mom joined her and they ripped the door open. Before I knew it, the two of them and my older sister rushed inside, leaving the door wide open for me to follow. But I didn't. The fireworks were still going on for a little while. I figured there wasn't any point in trying to change anything anymore, so I decided to enjoy one nice thing in my life while I could. Just when I thought I had a moment to myself, all hell broke loose. I looked back inside moments later and saw my brother with a knife. He charged after my sisters, but my mother jumped in the way to protect them. He then stabbed her without even flinching. When he was done with her, he didn't hesitate to finish what he started. It didn't matter if they ran or fought back. He caught them and was trying to take them all out, stabbing and slicing them one by one. I had to get away, but there was only one way out, down. I climbed over the railing of the balcony and started to make my way to the lower level. But by then, I had already waited too long.
Let's go over this one last time, Mr. Arshad. These bodies, they are your family, correct?
My mother and beautiful sisters. Yes.
And you did these things to them, right?
I poked them and cut them until they were dead.
So, you killed them?
I did! At the stroke of the new year.
Okay. And then from midnight until housekeeping found you at 7 in the morning, what were you doing?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Do you really want to know?
Before we continue, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yes!
Do you really want to know?
Just tell me! Tell me, goddammit!
Right.
Well, it's the holidays, isn't it? We finally had some family bonding time.
So, that still didn't answer the question. Silly one.
A 24-year-old man has been arrested after the bodies of his mother and 4 sisters were found inside a hotel room on Wednesday, January 1st. Mohammed Arshad was detained after he reportedly admitted to...
Hold on. Why does he kind of look like the animation? Like, I know that was the point, but like he actually looks like... Okay, anyways.
Taking out his family amid a New Year's Eve dispute. It was mentioned that Arshad allegedly served his family food and drinks containing an unspecified drug before he took them out with the knife.
What in the world? What in the world? Odd individuals. Odd individuals live everywhere in every type of space. This is actually crazy. That one was, that was a 9.5 out of 10. I was getting irritated because why was he, like, it was a good story. It just, like, it made me irritated. He's over here laughing and not just answering the question. You're getting a sentence anyway. I hope you know that. But besides the point, the story was good. That was interesting. This is keeping me entertained. Moving on to the next story, the New Year's truck. I already have a prediction, but I'm not gonna say the prediction. Let's just go.
1 year ago, I was celebrating the final day of 2024. It would soon be 2025. My girlfriend and I wanted to celebrate New Year's Eve in New Orleans. We'd been there for Mardi Gras a few times, so we knew what to expect. The streets were packed. Parties...
What is that? What is that?
Built out of every building in sight. For the countdown to New Year, we made our way to the center of it all, Bourbon Street. We were as drunk as anyone there. The crowd was electric, almost overwhelming, but it felt so worth it just to be a part of something so amazing. As we counted down the last fleeting seconds of 2024, the energy amplified beyond belief. There was cheering and chanting, phones
that
and
looked
cameras.
like Peter Griffin. Hold on.
Amazing. As we counted down the last fleeting seconds of 2024, the energy amplified beyond belief.
That looks like Peter! You see that? Wow. Okay, anyways.
Cheering and chanting, phones and cameras everywhere trying to capture the final moments of what had been one hell of a year. Finally, the clock struck midnight, and 2025 was here. Fireworks erupted from all directions and exploded overhead. As I leaned over to—
What are with these characters? Like, some of these people are overly ugly. What in the heck is this? Is that the same guy? What is this? What is he doing?
midnight, and 2025 was here. Fireworks
What is actually happening? Oh my gosh, this is actually frying me.
erupted from all directions and exploded overhead. As I leaned over to give my girlfriend a kiss, our moment was cut short by a sudden shift in the air. The cheers turned to shouting, then screaming. The year was less than a minute old, yet something was already wrong. If the crowd hadn't been so dense, we might have seen it sooner. Over my girlfriend's shoulder, I saw the first of many sights from that night which still haunt me. The crowd of people on the sidewalk behind her were panicking as a pickup truck plowed through them. Acting on pure instinct, I grabbed my girlfriend and jumped out of the way. We fell through the air as the truck flew past us. I held on to
ugly. Oh my goodness.
her as tight as I could, but just before I hit the ground, I felt her slip out of my hands. After landing on the ground, I immediately looked back at her, but she wasn't there. Her body was tumbling across the pavement, and that's when I realized the truck had hit her. It continued down the street, running over person after person.
Isn't this actually a true story? I swear I heard something like this.
A mindless rampage. Then it stopped and began to turn around. It wasn't safe to go back on the street, but I couldn't leave her there. I had to get her out of the way before the truck came back to hit her again. I scrambled to my feet and ran to her, but the closer I got, the more I could see the extent of what had been done. Her clothes and skin were shredded. Her arms and legs slumped like a rag doll. Her face was looking up, right at me. Her neck was broken. I'll never forget the expression stuck on her face. That dull, confused shock, like she didn't even have a second to realize what was going on or even feel pain. As I stared down at her, watching the color of life still draining from her skin, I wanted to collapse, break down, scream in agony, but it had to wait. Not far away, I heard the truck revving and screeching, barreling towards me all over again. I panicked and ducked into the first alleyway I saw, just seconds before that monster blew past. That time, I caught a glimpse of the man behind the wheel. There was unbridled rage in his eyes, but not quite insanity, just pure evil. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was never going to stop until all of us were dead. Cowering in that alleyway, my mind grappled with reality. It had all gone to shit so suddenly. I was bearing witness, trapped and powerless as that monster circled back and forth, murdering innocents with every pass, grinding the remains of his dead victims into the asphalt again and again. Eventually, it had to come to an end. The cops finally surrounded the truck, yet the psycho wouldn't quit. I watched as he stepped out and opened fire on the police without a moment's hesitation. He wounded a couple of them, but within a few seconds, they took him out. The instant he hit the dirt, I felt a wave of compulsion. I ran out into the street and right to my girlfriend. I wanted to be with her even though I knew she was gone. Looking back though, seeing her again after she had been run over so many more times was probably a mistake. In the aftermath, I was inconsolable, convinced it should have been me that died, not her. I should have just shoved her out of the way instead of trying to save myself too. I had to explain to her family the way she died, expecting to be torn to pieces for failing her. However, those who could manage to speak told me it wasn't my fault. There was only one man responsible, the man driving the truck. His name was Shamsuddin Jabbar. The police found a terrorist flag in his truck, as well as several videos he posted just before the attack. In them, he pled his allegiance to that evil cause, plainly stating what he planned to do. In the end, over a dozen people were killed that night.
I think this actually was real. Like, I could have sworn. I know, like, they're gonna show me, but, like, I'm pretty sure. And also, to be honest, if, like, I know it was probably the shock of it all, but personally, if something like that were to happen to my mom, which God forbid, knock on wood, I would have just got hit the second time when the truck came around. Like, I know that sounds crazy.
I am geeking Literally. So the thing is, her tangent hit. I'm out my body.
I know that sounds crazy, but like looking at this, like why didn't you just get hit by the car? Like he probably just didn't think of it. But still, like obviously anyone would want to save their own lives, because I would want to save my life too. But I feel like the shock of it all, I probably would have got hit eventually anyway. So sadly, I don't know what's going on.
What? What did he say? What?
This is crazy.
Many more suffered life-altering injuries. The funeral for my girlfriend was held a week later. Today, as New Year's Eve approaches once more, these memories have resurfaced, as crystal clear and painful as the day they were carved into me. If it is even possible to celebrate New Year's Eve at this point, I will be doing it alone. On January 1st of 2025, at around 3:15 a.m., Shamsuddin Jabbar, a 42-year-old American man, drove a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana, then exited the truck and engaged in a shootout with police before being fatally taken out. 14 victims were killed, plus the perpetrator, and at least 57 others were injured, including 2 police officers. The attack occurred during New Year's celebrations in the city, which was scheduled to host the 2025 Sugar Bowl later that day. The assailant, Shamsuddin Jabbar, was an American-born resident of Houston, Texas. An ISIS flag was found in the truck. It was stated that Jabbar had been inspired by ISIS. Jabbar had allegedly posted videos pledging his allegiance to ISIS in the hours before the attack.
That's crazy, for one. Okay, for two, I did not know that was 2025. I did not know that was last year. I can say that now. Ew! But for some reason, I thought it happened so much longer ago, but no, I guess not. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think I've been to New Orleans this year. I can't remember if I have. Well, 2025, I don't think I went to New Orleans at all. No, I didn't go to New Orleans 2025. I might go 2026. I hope so. But yeah, that's OD. For the third story, 10 out of 10. I mean, not 10 out of 10 because of what happened, but like, you know, I feel like they made another, what's it called? I feel like I've seen an animated story about that though already. But it wasn't the same as this one. I promise you that. Because this came out 3 days ago. I hope you guys liked this video so much. If you did, please like this video. And if you want to see any more of my content, I'm going to be posting a lot in 2026. So please stay ready. Subscribe to my channel and turn post notifications on so you are notified every single time I post. And follow my socials. My Instagram is 5star.liliana with 2 A's at the end. And my TikTok is Life with Liliana, the same as my YouTube channel name. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good break, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!